What's up, y'all? I hope that everybody had an awesome Christmas and that everyone's been playing a bunch of new games. With the holidays come holiday sales, and I wanted to talk to you about a hidden gem that me and my brother actually found called Beholgar. Somehow, this game slipped under the radar for me when it came to consoles in October, and I wanted to do my due diligence of hopefully putting a little spotlight on this piece of retro goodness because Beholgar absolutely deserves it. So, let's get to it. Beholgar is a 2D metroidvania with a retro aesthetic and a Conan the Barbarian looking protagonist. The game immediately upon boot up gives you a wave of nostalgia, even if you didn't grow up during the golden age of gaming. Kinda like Tumblr girls do when they say they were born in the wrong generation after seeing a black and white film. Beholgar's story basically has you trying to put an end to an evil sorcerer who is trying to use an ancient book to summon an evil god to Earth. The story mainly takes a backseat, as do many of the gameplay elements, because at its core it's an old school hack and slash action game with light platforming and, at times, brutal difficulty. In fact, most of the story isn't even told through dialogue, and instead is in beautiful single panel pixel art as transition scenes. And I'd say for the most part it works, but as with everything else I'm going to talk about in this review, I simply wanted more. The combat in Beholgar is exactly what you'd expect. You have your attack button using circle or B, your projectile using square or X, and your dodge using the right trigger. Everything feels good and is responsive, and you, as with all Metroidvanias, will get abilities that add layers to your gameplay, but the thing is here that they never really change the way you play by any means, and again, we come back to just simply wanting more. For example, you get a fire blast attack eventually that mainly is meant as a means to knock down obstacles for previously inaccessible areas, but this should have doubled as a devastating attack during combat. But the bar to fill up this move takes so long that it essentially never gets used during your combat, and that kinda goes the same for the rest of your abilities that you acquire throughout as well. Platforming, while sometimes frustrating, just because of how hard the positioning enemies are, I'd say for the most part is really well done and never reaches beyond its means. It fits perfectly in the niche that it aspires to be in, and to me that's what is the most promising about this possible series. All in all, Beholgar was a deeply satisfying experience, especially for the $10 price tag that it asked for. It was the perfect length, enjoyable to platinum or 100% depending on the platform you're playing on, had excellent music, fun bosses, and an amazing aesthetic that shined from the obvious visuals down to even the combat and the platforming that I mentioned earlier. What held it back was what the game didn't do. The lack of side quests, meaningful abilities, and a shallow story made this feel like the building blocks for an incredible game but has yet to be fully realized. With that being said, this is a must-buy for anyone that this review appealed to, and we should all be eagerly awaiting a second game in the series because this is the making of something special. It's a 7.5, take it or leave it. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for more, and Happy New Year, y'all.